So the best way to learn and engage with Ross, we've got a lot of opportunities for students. So obviously we have in-person events, we have a lot of online experiences, whether it's webinars or otherwise, where you can connect with the school. But the most exciting way probably for current students to engage with Michigan Ross is that we have over 200 student ambassadors, more than any other school. And you can filter by their background, their industry, what they're interested in. And if you did nothing other than just read the bios of the people who are on our website, you'd get a really good idea of who is at Michigan Ross. But you can actually connect directly with the students from that website if you find somebody that matches your interest and you want to learn more. When I think of our candidates who are successful, I actually think about some of the quality. I picture the students in my head, our current students, and the qualities that they exhibit. And I think when I think of them, they're very smart, intelligent, driven, but very down to earth and motivated to help and support people who are around them. That's common across all of our students. And one of the things that I would say as a prospective student, as you're trying to get to know students within a community and some of the qualities of that community, I actually recommend talking to more than one or two people, because I think if you talk to one or two people, you're going to hear what you want to hear, right? You're going to say, yep, that person sounds like what I want, what I'm interested in, what I want to be doing, but it's the consistency with those relationships. So are you hearing some common themes between the fourth or fifth person that you're talking to? That's really going to give you a flavor of what the program's all about. I think people who are overly competitive and out for themselves, our students are certainly competitive in that they want to do well, but they want to support their peers as they're moving forward. That's a hallmark of the Ross students, and so I think people who are really just out for themselves aren't going to find a good spot at Michigan Ross. At Michigan Ross, if you learn best by doing, this is the place to be. And by that I mean it's a very, very experiential program. And with that, with those experiences, we're actually looking for people to bring a little of their own background and professional experience to the table so they can contribute both in the classroom as well as these experiential learning opportunities that we provide for our students. So what I would say is we don't often have people that are at the 1 to 2 year mark. It's usually 2 years plus. That's not a hard and fast rule, but it is just such that if students have enough experience to be able to contribute to the classroom, that's what we're looking for. So we want to make sure that they're going to be ready to get the most out of that experience. What makes Michigan Ross unique is truly, if you learn best by doing, this is the place to be. And by that I mean the last 7 weeks of your first year, rather than being in the classroom, you're going to be on a consulting-like engagement with 4 to 6 peers. We call it MAP, and it is the longest and deepest hands-on learning experience you can get anywhere. You're going to be at companies all over the world. About half of the companies are domestic and half are international, and you don't pay anything above and beyond tuition to go on a MAP project. So our students see it as a second internship, a full 7 weeks that gives them an experience in a new organization or in a new country and a new function area that they've never been a part of. So if you take that plus your internship, our students are great career changers, right? We find actually almost 90% of our students are switching either function or industry. So if you're looking to make an adjustment in your career and trying to pivot, Michigan Ross is a great place because we're going to give you the experiences that employers are looking for. I would say one of the biggest misconceptions about Michigan Ross is its geographic placement. People say, well, if I go to school, I've never been to Ann Arbor, tell me more about Ann Arbor. And Ann Arbor is great. We encourage you to certainly learn more. There's a lot of resources, talk to our students. But we're 25 minutes from a major international airport, which means it's very easy for recruiters to get in and out of Ann Arbor. They are on campus all of the time. And we might be one of the most geographically agnostic schools in terms of placement. We have people on the West Coast, East Coast, internationally, Chicago, all the places that people want to go, students go. So any regional bias that people might have in thinking that they're going to get stuck in the Midwest if they're not interested in being there, that should be alleviated. That's not true at all, and you can go where you want to geographically. There's a lot of new interesting things that we're doing at the school. One that I'm personally really excited about because my background is at the intersection of education and business, so I focused on more impact orientation with my MBA degree when I received my MBA from Michigan Ross. It's our Business Plus Impact Studio. So the Business Plus Impact Studio is actually a physical space that's happening at Michigan Ross that's centered around design thinking and solving the world's most pressing problems. So we're bringing not only business school faculty and students, but faculty and students from policy, social work, healthcare, and more to tackle things like poverty alleviation or economic injustice. So I'm really, really excited about the power of business to create a positive impact in the world, and I think it's something that really draws students to Michigan Ross as well. One of the features of our career service office that our students really love is our peer career coaches. So these are second-year students who are hired by our career development office, and we have a full set of professional staff within the office. But the students really appreciate the peer-to-peer support, and the reason is they're getting guidance from people who were just in their shoes recently, that just had that internship that they wanted. So in addition to helping them review their resumes or practice for their interviews, they can also say, hey, you know that dinner that you got invited to by that firm? Here's who's going to be there. Here's the types of things you need to know in advance of going into that situation that are going to better prepare you to set yourself apart for that company. So the peer coaches also lead something called FACT groups, Functional Accountability Career Teams. So FACT groups actually meet weekly. They are accountability groups where the second-year student is walking the first-year students through the equivalent of a curriculum that's going to help prepare them to move forward in consulting or finance or technology or otherwise. And there's a lot of peer-to-peer support in that, and that people are strengthening each other as they're moving forward in the process. So again, a big feature that the students really like about our career office.
Admit me, never apply alone.